Welcome to Fraser 365. Over the next several days, we're going to be hearing from some of our mission partners about how they heard their call into mission work and what they're doing today. We hope, as you listen to each day, that you'll be asking God to reveal where He may be calling you to work in ministry and mission. Today we hear again from Carter McWhorter, who is going to tell us about how he is living out his call into mission work.
And to answer the question of how are we living out that call to the field, also a difficult question to answer, but in a simple way, going is an answer to the call. And that's not an easy thing to do, as simple as it sounds. Saying bye to family and moving somewhere new into new community with a new language to learn and new people and culture to learn is a difficult thing. But I think seeing the faith that the Lord gave us, the confidence and the boldness that He gave us to go, definitely feels like a confirmation to His calling on our lives. And so the ministry that we're doing, I guess in a practical sense, answering the calling on the ground there, the ministry that we're doing there is church planting. And it's very different from what we've done in the past with college ministry and Campus Crusade in East Asia, because college ministry, you have such a narrow focus as to who you're reaching and where you're spending your time and things like that. And as we all know, the church is a very broad thing. It includes all people, all walks of life. And so ministry is really zoomed out and the focus is much more wide, and there's a lot more freedom into what you're doing in your ministry day to day. And so still a lot to learn there. Again, only being 1 year in. And your first year with Mission to the World, you spend that entire year studying language. And so the hope is that we would acquire the Thai language to a point to where we could move into a community where all of our ministry is being done in the Thai language. And that's the hope here in the next couple months, that we will be doing that and joining a church planting team that is just met for the first time. The church just met for the first time this month. And so it's really exciting where we sit now, but still, like I said, a lot of uncertainty, and language still feels really scary. And again, it's going to be very stretching. But like we've seen in the past, the Lord carries us each step of the way. And He who calls us is faithful. And so we can trust as we take those steps that He will continue to carry us. And so the idea of this new church plan is that it will be a parish church. And so that meaning that the focus of the ministry of the church will be about a 5-mile radius around the church, meeting people that are shop owners and that work in offices in that radius and that live in that radius, and going to markets and meeting people there and playing basketball with college students on the campus in that radius, things like that. And so Caroline and I are both very passionate about relational ministry. And so the idea of the parish style of church feels really exciting, that the people that we interact with day to day are the people that are within the focus of our ministry. And so it feels exciting, but again, that's such a broad scope in ministry that it is overwhelming. And like I said, less than 1% of the people in that scope are Christians. And so there's a lot of work to be done, but we go in faith, trusting that only Lord can change those people's hearts, and it's not work that we can do. And I think another thing, a lot of times in ministry, we feel like it's our job to go in and convince people of who God is and convince them that the gospel is worth believing and laying down their lives for. But it's only the work of the Spirit that can change hearts. It's only the work of the Spirit that can convince people to lay down their lives, convince people in this setting to believe something that's completely foreign to them, to believe something that may mean being ostracized from your family and your coworkers and things like that. But we know the value of the gospel. We know that the gospel changes everything, and that our hope is real. And so that's why we go, and that's what we need to be reminded of as we do go. And again, answering the Lord's call is a complicated thing, because it's one of those things you go, and then things are hard oftentimes. And like this past year for us has been one of the most challenging years of our lives. But we don't look at circumstances and decide whether the Lord's faithful or not. We know that He is faithful, and He's shown that He is faithful, and know that, like in a moment to moment scenario, you can't really say the Lord's not faithful because this hard thing has happened to me. But we cling to hope, we cling to truth, and are so thankful for the body that sends us, for people here at Montgomery, for Fraser, for other churches that support us, that faithfully lay down their lives to pray for us, to give to us, and things like that, so that we can answer this call. So we're very thankful, and we would really appreciate your prayers, especially as we join this new church plant, and to walk in faith and trust in the Lord's work, and not judge success based on the changes that we can make with our own hands, but to judge success on faithfulness, and trust the Lord, that's what He wants. He wants us to go believing in Him. And so, that's a long answer to a hard question.